Welcome to Craven Cottage, where it is a Premier League side hosting a Championship team just outside of the playoffs, with a place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. The reward for the winners here this afternoon. The travelling Southampton fans have packed the stand to our left-hand side as we sit in the Johnny Haynes stand in their red and white replica kits. The rest of this ground has lots of fans in the black and white of Fulham, who are hoping that they can see their side through to a third FA Cup quarter-final in the last 4 seasons. Fulham haven't progressed further than that, though, under Marco Silva. He will, I'm sure, be keen to change that this season. As for Southampton, fairly turbulent start to their season, required a change of manager, and under their youth coach they have turned things around. 8 unbeaten in the league, 9 in all competitions to come here. They will feel fairly confident today, despite the fact that they are the Championship team. Why not believe that they can beat Premier League opponents here in West London? I was going to say this afternoon, we're still just slightly morning, but we are edging towards a midday kick-off here. The flamethrowers are in full force. You can almost feel them from here as they throw flames up in front of that Riverside stand. As the 2 sets of players walk onto the pitch, Tom Kearney is your captain for Fulham. Taylor Harwood-Bellis is the captain for the visitors. Fulham coming into this game having played on Wednesday evening here and losing 1-0 against West Ham. A bit of a blow to their possible European ambitions, and obviously a rather good result for West Ham in their hopes of avoiding relegation this season. Meanwhile, it's been a week since Southampton beat bottom of the Championship Sheffield Wednesday 3-1. So Tonda Eckart's team have had a week to prepare for this game. Fulham have had less time to get ready for this FA Cup tie. Either way, Paul Mortimer, it's exciting, isn't it? You've got memories of days like today.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was an apprentice at Fulham, so, you know, I understand their history, and, you know, FA Cup day is always special. And, yeah, I can remember us playing for Charlton, beating Sheffield Wednesday at one stage, which was when they were in the Premier League, which was really good. So, you know, these are special moments, and especially in players' lives, because you're not going to win the Premier League. There's a select few that do that. This is something you can win, and you can really enjoy the journey to however far you go. It's a wonderful thing, and you know, it's important to make the most of it. And Southampton, that's what the manager would have said to them: make the most of this. Don't come off the pitch regretting, I wish I'd done this and I wish I'd given more. Do it today, because you never know where it will take you. And
you've said, you know, Southampton could come here thinking we've got nothing to lose.
Yep. We're in good form, by the way. Yep. We're scoring goals, we're not conceding many. Fulham have changed their team. As you said before, Southampton have played some more league players than cup players, so that gives you an idea. They've had a week off as well to prepare. I tell you, honestly, I mean, everything is set up for an upset. But this Fulham team has experience, and I think that's what's going to stand them in good stead.
It is a fairly changed Fulham side from the defeat against West Ham in midweek, but still a very strong starting 11 for the home side. Benjamin Lecomte is in goal rather than Leno, of course. Timothy Castagna, Joachim Andersen, Jorge Cuenca and Ryan Sessegnon make up the back four. Then it's Harrison Reed and Tom Kearney, the captain, sat in front of the defence. Oscar Bob and Samuel Chukwueze on the wings, with Emile Smith-Rowe behind Rodrigo Muniz up front. That is a starting 11 that wouldn't feel out of place I would suggest, Paul, starting in a Premier League.
Big time. And as I said before, the problem you have with some of them is the lack of minutes. If the game is a comfortable one, by that I mean if Southampton don't press them and make it a physical game, they've got enough intelligence and experience to actually cruise through that. So Southampton have to really get after them and make it difficult.
Well, let me spin that. No, not a lot of match time, so lovely and fresh ball.
Yes. It means for the first 60 minutes, if they can get the game done by then, yeah.
As
No
for
doubt.
Southampton, Daniel Peretz is their goalkeeper, Ryan Manning, Nathan Wood, their captain Taylor Harwood-Bellis, and James Bree, who scored the FA Cup goal against Leicester to get them through to this stage of the competition. Then it's Tom Fellows and Flynn Downs in front of them, Leo Scienza and Casper Yander on the wings, Finn Azaz behind Kyle Lorin up front for the visitors. Fulham are in an all-white kit and they will kick off. Southampton are in a yellow top, blue shorts and yellow socks. The home side kicking from left to right in this first half as the ball is turned back to Joachim Andersen, and then a touch from Harrison Reed. Castagna waits on the right-hand side. The pass is played a little long, and it's Ryan Manning, the former QPR player, of course, in this Southampton side, who watches it out for a first goal kick for Daniel Peretz, joined on loan from Bayern Munich in January, an Israeli international.
You know, I'm looking forward to, and he's playing right in front of us, Oscar Bob, because a lot's been made of this young man, and he was very good for Man City. I just want to see how he slots into Fulham's way of playing, because he's, again, we spoke earlier, it's been quite a slow start for him, hasn't it?
Ball here with Reed, gives it back to Lecomte, who's in sort of bright red behind this Fulham side. There was a Southampton player just bearing down on Lecomte, who wasn't given much time to release that ball, Paul.
I think this early in the game, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be putting pressure on yourself and inviting pressure. I think you want to go and play. Yes, Fulham are doing... They're just controlling possession at the moment. They're getting... everyone's getting a touch of the ball, and they're making Southampton run about a little bit. But going backwards, I think, is the disease you've got to get rid of. Go forward, because that could have ended up differently.
Ball with Kearney, now with Anderson, who does one of those quarterback passes.
A great ball, by the way.
Brilliant ball out to Chukwueze, who's slaloming in from the left-hand side. Pokes into a quick touch from Bob. Muniz then tries a back heel. Muniz was trying to back heel it back to Bob. If that had come off, it would have been rather special. Southampton, though, try and play it forward quickly to Lorin. And Anderson says, you know what, you're not getting much further than inside the centre circle.
You know what I like there? The minute Chukwueze got the ball, the tempo lifted. And he's now running at people. Even the crowd behind us, you know, get up. Get him the ball, because he creates... Players come to him, and so he can you know, knock the ball off and create spaces for others.
Quick pass from Bob to Castagna. Now with Kearney, back to Anderson, who turns it back to Lecomte. We have played 3 minutes here at Craven Cottage, goalless at the moment. I'm going to say for every 10 touches Fulham make, Southampton get one.
That's about right.
Yeah.
And in Southampton's team play, in their analysis, they've said that. Listen, we may not have a lot of the ball, Fulham are going to keep it a lot, remain patient, and then when we do get it, can we be a threat on the attack? Forward
to Cienza. He drops down. Southampton fans want something. Play on, says the referee, as Manning plays it infield to Wood. Wood then turns it back to Harwood-Bellis. Now it's with Bree. Bree up the right wing where Fellows is. And now it's all the way back to Peretz. He lifts it up into the sky. The floodlights are on at the top of that Riverside stand. We had one day of spring, didn't we? And now it's got cold again. I've
said to everyone who I'm sick of saying it, for the good weather, enjoy that in the moment. Because we have to pay for it with 5 days of terrible weather. And that's what's happened.
Cold and wet again. It is actually, saying that, it is dry, at least here at the moment.
Well, it can be, for now.
Yeah, but it is a bit chilly. Here it's with Southampton. They flick it forward. Flag stays down as Lorin collects inside the 18-yard box.
Oh, he's not looked.
Well, no. He knows he should have done better with that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, he's right on the goal line, and there's one player to hit. And there was very little. He's running out of space as well, so it's a difficult one. But his head's down the whole time. He hasn't looked forward. Just shows you Southampton pose a threat going forward.
Out to Cienza. Cienza now running down the left wing. Manning drops down inside the 18-yard box. Still going though, Southampton. Cienza is able to put a cross into the 6-yard box. Anderson just clears it into the Johnny Haynes stands.
Well, Cienza creates chances for them. I think he's up there in terms of assists. So, you know, and he looks sharp. He's going to give, I think, Castagna a problem down this right-hand side of Fulham's, without a doubt. A
Brazilian who joined in September. His league goals includes home and away against Queen's Park Rangers in the league this season. 6 league goals so far.
And you can see from the way they play, they do like to pass it, but they're good in attack. They're sharp, and they'll go and take players on.
Unbeaten in 8, Southampton in the league, 9 if you include their last FA Cup match, that win against Leicester, and they're starting to show a bit more confidence here. Fulham are having to do a bit more defending. The ball finds Muniz inside the centre circle, sort of just rolled off his chest in a way. I'm not quite sure what he was appealing for there, Muniz. And now it's all the way back with the Southampton goalkeeper. Seeing a bit more of the ball now, the Championship side here at Craven Cottage. 6 minutes played. BBC Radio London, DAB Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website. Currently goalless between Fulham and Southampton.
There's a difference as well. They're prepared to knock long balls and run in behind as well as pass short. They're giving Fulham a problem, you know.
Here with Cuenca. Now to Anderson, so the 2 central defenders get a touch each. Forward to Kearney. Kearney rolls it out to Chukwueze. Chukwueze's cross is blocked by the back of Bree on the Southampton right-hand side. And now they will try and break again with Azaz for Southampton in front of that Riverside Sam. The cross though is intercepted by Bob. Bob races forward. Does Bob fancy a shot? Still going Bob. The angle's tight. And the block takes it out of play. Off Yanda. Fulham have got the first corner of this game. I'm not sure if Oscar Bob knew what to do with that ball.
No. Again, he was running out of space. And he was waiting for something to happen, maybe a defender to lose concentration and open up a gap for him. But it was clear he didn't really know what he wanted to do. And again, that's come from Southampton being in good possession and giving the ball away.
Does lead to a corner, first corner of this game that Harrison Reed will take. Into the 8th minute of the game here in West London. We are in the afternoon now, aren't we?
Only just.
Oh, I'm still bleary-eyed, Paul. It's a Sunday. Honestly.
It is very strange. It is very strange, but it's something we have to get used to.
I know. This 8 o'clock kickoffs on a Saturday night.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Anyway, very lucky to be here, as here the corner is taken by the right boot of Harrison Reed to the far post, headed up into the air by Anderson, and it might have just dropped under the crossbar, but, well, the Southampton goalkeeper had it covered either way.
Yeah. And you saw Southampton there look to break quickly. The thing about Southampton, defended it well. They have people that are prepared to make runs past the ball. And again, when the game opens up like that, we talk about the physicality of the Fulham players, you know, where they're having to run back a lot and having to cover, you know, copious amounts of ground. That could be a challenge. It's a decent ball, that.
Chukwueze can't get there, but he does make sure that Southampton have to take it out for another corner for the home side. So a second corner for Fulham. This not very long after Harrison Reed got the first corner of this game. This one, what though, will be taken to the left-hand side of the Southampton goal.
May I just say, the ball from the back, sort of right to left, that angled 40, 50-yard ball from Joachim Anderson into Chukwueze was a really, you know, that's something we're going to have to look at. That's going to happen a lot.
He does that rather well, doesn't he? As here, that Harrison Reed corner is headed by Bree, who just leapt. He almost kind of leapt onto one of his teammates' shoulders to get a bit more height there. And he gets his head to it. Everybody inside the Southampton half now. Ball is out to Ryan Sessegnon, who was a 16-year-old, scored a couple of FA Cup goals for Fulham in his
he was a bright kid, wasn't he? You thought big things for him, and injury and maybe loss of form and maybe too much expectation got to him, but he's a far more mature player now.
And it's with Bob now. Bob, left-hand corner of the Southampton box. The pass into the penalty area finds a Southampton player, and it's now...
There's trouble.
A chance for Flynn down straight forward. Here is trouble. Really important interception by Cuenca. The cross was looking for Lorin, but the Spanish central defender got in the way at the expense of Southampton's first corner. The Southampton fans have come here in numbers, and they're making plenty of noise now.
Well, it was a really good break, and as we see the replay, just how many Fulham midfielders were behind the advancing Southampton players. Like I said before, because they make runs, Fulham's midfield, let's say, isn't the youngest. So, you know, the physicality is going to be a problem, and they really do break at breakneck speed at Southampton.
So first corner for Southampton. It's Manning who takes it, comes back to Manning, who will flick it back in. It's Muniz who's able to head it away. Now with Bob, who's in a right-back position at the moment. He gives it to Anderson, because he knows that Anderson can really get a boot behind it. It'll end up going out of play. And we can go for some goal news at Plough Lane. Is he, Gilligan?
Yes, it's AFC Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0. It's a lovely bit of play from the home side. Callum Maycock just taps in Marcus Brown's ball across, and they're a goal ahead, only 11 minutes played. Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0. So Wimbledon 1-0 up. Goalless here at Craven Cottage at the moment, or 11 minutes played. BBC Radio London DAB, Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website to bring you commentary of a game that will see one of these sides confirm their place in the last 8 of the FA Cup. Already through Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, no surprises so far, although I think the teams that they were playing tried to spring surprises, didn't they?
Yep, it's not without effort. They've really tried. So, like I said, yesterday's game was a magnificent game. Then you look at Mansfield and Arsenal.
Yeah.
You never saw that coming. So, the lower ranked teams have really made a good case for it this year.
Ball finds Smith Rowe. That's the first time I've said his name in this game.
Yeah, I think sometimes the game passes him by too much for me. I think he's a prodigious talent, but too often the game passing him by, and you kind of forget, like you say, you don't name check him often. And
I don't think he touched the ball.
Yeah.
Here though, it's with Kearney. Kearney releases the pass out to Bob. Bob, right hand side of the Southampton box, right on the edge of the 18-yard box, onto his left boot, tries a strike, it's on target, but it's smothered by the Southampton goalkeeper. Bob cutting in from the right hand side, left-footed effort, a save by Peretz, remains 0-0.
Well, the shame for Bob there was that he didn't really go for it. I'd rather him smash that into Rosette than it was one of those, he really didn't really commit to it, because he had time and space, and I'm thinking, he's going to pass that into the far corner or really go for it, but I think we'd have saved that.
No,
definitely.
No, Kevin today, a player who's actually been involved in 3 of Fulham's 5 FA Cup goals this season. He's injured. Harry Wilson, who's also been involved in a fair number of goals this season.
They're missing real goal scorers for them.
Yeah.
And people in form. I mean, Kevin was just starting to play, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Been here a while and hadn't been convinced, and all of a sudden you're seeing what the fuss is about, and then unfortunately gets injured. It's the life of a footballer, unfortunately. Major highs and then huge lows.
Kept in play by Manning. He actually ends up out of play, and there's a rather sharp decline of the pitch, kind of drops away quite quickly, and so Ryan Manning did well to keep the ball in play, but he ended up sort of sat on the advertising hoardings,
which are rock hard as well. I don't like these advertising hoardings, and the pitch slopes down, so
it does.
If momentum catches you and you smash into that, it's not, Not nice.
Ball out with Anderson, now turned forward by Castagna. Kenny looks for options, finds Bob again on the Fulham right-hand side. Back in field to the Fulham captain. Another pass to Bob. Bob now rolls it, little back heel, might find Bob again. And that was Castagna, who was a little bit higher up the pitch. Well, they're trying something intricate at the moment.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, I'm looking at Oscar Bob and I'm thinking, is he a winger? No, because he doesn't drive people. He's a midfielder playing wide, who lends the ball, gets it back. You know, that 1 and 2 touch sort of play, and that's what he's doing, coming in off the line and trying to outnumber Southampton in the midfield and create chances that way.
Ball is with Muniz. Another start for him this afternoon since coming back from that injury. Ball is with Bob and now Reed. Reed now squares it to Smith Rowe. Chukwueze's looking for the pass wide on the left-hand side. Chukwueze into the 18-yard box. This might be a chance. Came back off, brought by Bob. Now to Tom Kenny. He brings it down and strikes it wide. Tom Kenny tried to volley at home with his left boot, but the captain is wide of the Southampton goal. Still 0-0. Yeah,
it looked like Muniz had the best chance there. Chukwueze's cross has come into him, and I think it's Muniz who takes a touch and I've got to say, there's a couple of really good blocks. A couple of really good blocks from Southampton. Good play from Fulham. Again, starts on the right in front of us, switches it out to the left, and that's where the space is created.
Ball is back in midfield. Brought down by a Southampton head. Comes out to Cienza. Still with Cienza. Castagna is the player he's got to get round here now. The Brazilian manages to do that. It was a really lovely ball in, but nobody is quite there to get on the end of it.
Well, first of all, this is all about Larin and the way he pins Joachim Anderson back, sets the ball up, and then they've got 3 runners going in behind. And Cienza gets it, and he's on the corner of the penalty area, and you're still not quite sure he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He never really made his mind up, and then he put a really good crossing, but everyone's on their heels, not expecting him to do that. Really good counter-attacking play from Southampton. They've got midfield runners that Fulham's midfield cannot stick with, do not see.
Southampton have a throw in front of the Riverside stand, about 2/3 of the way inside the Fulham half, on their right-hand side. Throw in is short to Azaz, who's able to get the ball around Ryan Sessegnon. Fulham clear, now with Muniz, still with Muniz. Just about keeps the ball in play, but not quite down the Fulham left-hand side. Ends up going into the Riverside stand.
It's a good battle between Muniz and Harwood Bellis, I've got to say. I think Muniz just about came out on top there, but again, ran out of pitch. Good game so far. Played at a nice tempo as well.
Fulham have played championship teams to get this far, beating Middlesbrough here 3-1. 2-1 winners away against Stoke. As for Southampton, beating League One Doncaster 3-2. Southampton are actually 3-0 up in that game at half-time. Doncaster got a couple of goals back in that game. And then getting a 2-1 win against Leicester. That, though, was in extra time, that game. Of course, a reminder that we are still in extra time and penalties territory. No replays in the FA Cup.
No one wants extra time, I'll tell you that much.
I know, now that I've said it. Free kick for Fulham. 18 minutes played at Craven Cottage. Goalless between Fulham of the Premier League and Southampton, who are 7th in the Championship at the moment. Harrison Reed and Bob behind this free kick. It's Harrison Reed who takes it, and I think that was Southampton who headed it clear. Leads to the third Fulham corner of this game.
He's given offside.
Oh, has he? Oh, okay.
Oh, what's happened there?
Well, that's extraordinary. We're not entirely sure what's happened there.
Did not see what happened there.
There are cheers from the Fulham fans. There's a Southampton player down.
Have no clue what happened there.
And it's really quite perplexing. guessing what's happened there.
Ah, the ref's saying play to my whistle.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I think it appears that Southampton tried a quick goal kick, Fulham read it and scored. Yes, the goalkeeper tries a quick goal kick, and I think it hits off one of his own players.
It goes off one of his own players, who's now down on the edge of the 18-yard box. Yeah. Tom Kearney's now in conversation with the referee, who's explaining things to him.
The ref's basically saying, I'm in charge, and he did it before I gave him permission to the goalkeeper take the goal kick, which I think is, you want to take it quick, there's a price that comes with that.
I was going to say, absolutely. If it ends up with the opposing team getting a goal because you hit it off the back of one of your own players, so be it. Well, you're the referee. Here it comes to Sessegnon. Sessegnon forwards, away by...
It's funny you said that. When I was growing up there in the old football magazines, there used to be a you're the referee.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm thinking. You're the referee. Sort that one out. Ball is with Bob. Bob spins 360 degrees. Now comes to Kearney. Kearney out to Castagna, who's high on the right-hand side. Back to Bob again. Busy from him. From Castagna. Is cleared back as far as Kearney.
Oh.
Kearney finds Bob. Bob to Castagna again. Castagna back across the goal mouth, this time collected by Peretz. And do you think Tom Kearney should have gone for it that time?
You know, we're right behind Tom Kearney, and I'm thinking one of his specials where he curls it into the top corner was on, but, you know, he's tried to chop it back to Bob, who is becoming more influential in the game.
He is.
Oscar Bob.
I think he's been one of the players who's seen most of the ball as it goes out to Chukwueze on the left wing. A few step-overs from him. Wins another Fulham corner. Let's see if they can create something from this, the Premier League side. 0-0 at the moment at Craven Cottage. Into the 21st minute, so almost halfway through the first half here. And Harrison Reed waits behind the latest corner. Scored that rather special equaliser here in the league against Liverpool, didn't he?
He's done a couple of them, hasn't he?
He
recently,
has. Here it's with Reed with the corner. The leaping Fulham player can't get there.
Sessegnon trying with his right foot. Oh, there's trouble.
Tried with his right foot, hit air instead, and it's forward to Cienza. Cienza going forward. Sessegnon can't stop him. Southampton in on goal. Oh, and it's wide. It's wide from Cienza. He had the goal at his mercy, and he knows he should have done better. Somehow it remains 0-0 here, but the Championship side should have gone ahead.
Well, as I've said, the way they break, Fulham do not have the legs to manage the speed at which Southampton break, and Cienza has to score. When you play against these teams, the top teams, you have to take your chances when they come along, and that is the best chance. I think that will be the best chance of the game.
Yeah.
You know, he cannot miss it, and the fact that he's missed the target, I'd rather the keeper save it than you miss the target from 5 yards, but that will be a worry, I think, for the Fulham manager, just how easy it was for Southampton to break forward. And there were no Fulham players back.
Well, Ryan Sessegnon was the player who was closest to him, and if he got a slight touch on his shirt. If that had been any stronger,
he's off.
He's off.
Oh, he's off.
Yeah.
He couldn't. He took a risk, and the thing about it was there were two other Southampton players up there as well. No Fulham players there at all. So great going forward, Fulham. But when they lose the ball, how many of them are doing the ugly stuff, running back?
Castagna, who is high on the right at the moment, as if to demonstrate Paul Mortimer's point, as Harrison Reed is fouled. Yeah, Harrison Reed scored the winner against Stoke in the last round of the FA Cup, as well as that goal against Liverpool. Of course, a former Southampton youth. The Fulham number 6 now. Lovely ball in, and Rodrigo Muniz, well, he was trying to sort of bend down to make contact, and as you say, the Southampton goalkeeper also went to collect the ball and has picked up a bit of a knock. Well,
there's a bit of bravery there, because he knows going for that ball he's going to take a knock, and he's going to take a knock on his side where he can't protect himself, and he looks like he's probably caught it on the outside of his right thigh, where maybe that's where the contact hit him. And that was always coming. You could see it from here. Great ball from Harrison Reed. Another one taken early, by the way. Ref's not said anything about it. Southampton weren't set, took it early, and keeper's done well.
Remains goalless here, 24 minutes on the clock. Let's find out how Wimbledon are doing at Plough Lane. Izzy Gilligan.
Yes, it's still AFC Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0. It's been kind of one-way traffic for the home side here. They've looked pretty strong compared to the visitors. They've had a couple of good counter-attacks though, have Northampton Town, but for now it still remains AFC Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0.
Kenny forward to Bob. Now comes to Castagna. He gives it to Cuenca. They're both inside the Southampton half. Out to Chukwueze. Sessegnon's carried on his run. Now it's with Smith Rowe. Still going Smith Rowe down the Fulham left-hand side. Short pass to Sessegnon, but he's got 3 Southampton players around him, and he says, do you know what? If you're going to try and shut me down, I'm just going to take the ball out off you. We're going to get another corner.
Yeah, and if you look at Southampton, they will work hard to shut the ball down because they know when they get it right, they could score. So they'll do the ugly stuff because they know Fulham are going to have a lot of the ball. Fulham, for me, have to do a little bit more creatively because I think Southampton are fairly comfortable when Fulham are in possession at the moment.
Another corner for Fulham, another one for Harrison Reed to take, perhaps. There is another player behind this. Oscar Bobb is standing really close to it. It will be Reed to take, and again it only finds its way to the near post, headed back towards Harrison Reed.
Well, they're a big side.
They are a bit, aren't they? Yeah.
They're a tall side, so you're going to do really well. And in the Championship, there's a lot of this kind of stuff, and they deal with it really well. Not conceded many goals recently.
Yeah, they're all sort of 6'2", 6'3" back there. Ball is with Kearney. Kearney then out for a cross down the Fulham left-hand side. Comes back as far as Chukwueze, who at the moment is the right back.
Yeah.
Now it's with Ryan Sessegnon, who's a central midfielder at the moment, Paul. Everybody's having a go at his musical chairs, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the biggest worry here is they're not really stretching. Everything's a bit too slow. A little bit too slow. It's easy for Southampton to take up really strong defensive starting positions. And they're saying to Fulham, all right, come and break us down then.
Paul Mortimer and Emma Jones with you, BBC Radio London, DAB, Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website. And When the Saints Come Marching In is being sung in full force by the travelling Southampton fans, who I have to say I think they were expecting something like 6,000 of them here today,
that's right.
Paul.
Yeah, and quite right too.
Yeah.
It's not too far to come on a Sunday. And I think let's say the planners making this game early means that even if it does go to extra time, you've still got a bit of the day left to get home.
Keep saying those dreaded words. Here it's with Anderson, another one of those brilliant balls from him, pinged up to Chukwueze. It's James Bree who stands in his way. Goes out off the Southampton defender. Ryan Sessegnon will take the resulting throw-in. 28 minutes on the clock, 0-0 at the moment in this FA Cup tie, as it's flicked on, and well, I think Muniz just makes sure it goes out for another corner. There was a little bit of a mess there from Southampton.
It was good play from Muniz, pins the defender back, the ball's thrown in, flicks it on, and then the 2 Southampton players, one is back to the goal, one's facing the goal, and really, I think one's kicked the other.
I think Nathan Wood kicked.
He did. He kicked Manning.
He did, in the head.
But they've got it cleared, and that's the most important thing.
Right, another corner for Fulham. They're adding up in this first half. Ball is with Harrison Reed again. Right-footed ball, this time to the far post. Anderson was there, and Perez has to push it away. Harrison Reed finding Joachim Anderson at the far post, and his header had to be saved by the Southampton goalkeeper.
It's a much better ball, cuts the goalkeeper out completely, and it just opens up that back post space. And he doesn't really get enough on it, Joachim Anderson, because when he touches it, it goes down rather than back across the goal. Then that bounce gives the goalkeeper the opportunity to get across and just palm it away. Another corner, though, as a result of that save from the Southampton goalkeeper. And again to be taken by Harrison Reed. Right-footed outswinger, headed by Muniz. And I think there was just a Southampton player in front of him. Yeah, there was. It was a good block.
Yeah.
I mean, good attempt at a header, decent ball. But they're defending them well, Southampton.
But their goal is very much under attack, isn't it?
It is under attack. I think Fulham might have to be a little bit more inventive in terms of creating opportunities. Because if they're just throwing the ball in the box, like I said, Southampton are a tall side at the back and they are heading everything clear. I think the ref's telling people off.
Fulham are waiting to take this throw. It's going to be Castagna with the throw, and might find Muniz. Now comes back to Chukwueze. Well, that was a strike through bodies. I'm not sure how much of that the Southampton goalkeeper saw before he had to save it.
Well, it's coming through body, so and unfortunately for him, it's straight down his throat. Because had that been maybe deflected or anything, it may have been slightly different. But Chukwueze did really well to get his knee over it and keep it down, because sometimes those go everywhere. So he's done really well to keep it on target.
I make that 3 saves now for the Southampton goalkeeper, but you've got to say Cienza at the other end of the pitch has had the best chance.
Yeah, I think there have been 3 savable saves, to be honest.
Yeah.
That chance for Cienza, well, you know, as sure as eggs is eggs, that should have been a goal. There's a goal, really. Any other game, that's a goal, and he won't be able to explain to you why he missed it or how he possibly missed it.
If we had Marco Silva cam on at the time, you would have seen his colour change significantly.
There'd have been steam coming out of his ears.
Absolutely.
The thing is, it was the ease at which they broke forward. Yeah. That was and the lack of Fulham players defending.
Meanwhile, the Southampton manager probably fairly happy with what he's seen so far from his side.
Well, it's nothing he wouldn't have catered for. Yes, are Fulham going to have a lot of the ball? Yes. Are they going to have a lot of territory?
Yeah,
in
the
and
Premier League team at home.
Exactly right, to be expected. So there's nothing that's come up that fundamentally will worry him. Defending from corners well. They've not cut them open. In fact, like you say, what they're buoyed by is the fact that there's been 2 or 3 occasions when in transition, when Southampton going forward has posed a real threat. And they'll just keep playing for that. They'll play for that moment again.
Ball is with Reed. Castagna is a little bit further forward down the right-hand side. Now forward to Kenny. Kenny ends up sat on the pitch, but still tries to find the pass to Castagna. Castagna confident that that ball touched the Southampton player last, so leaves it to go out of play for yet another corner for the home side. This one's taken quickly and short. Comes back to Kenny. Kenny lifts it to the far post. Headed away. Chukwueze tries to keep it in. Azaz now collects for Southampton deep inside their own half. He's now running towards halfway. Holds up the ball, the Southampton number 9. Plays it into Flynn Downs, who then turns it back to the defence. Well, Southampton looked like they were going to go on one of those breaks for a moment. Yeah,
they did. But, you know, he decided to take a breath. You're kind of worried for Fulham there, because I just don't think, if you look at their midfield, Reed and Kearney and Smith Rowe, they're not great at running back.
Cross from the Southampton right-hand side. Comes down, this is a chance. It's Cienza again. This one was dropping onto his right boots.
Got off for a throw.
And it goes out for a throw-in.
Yeah, he's just leaning back and he's sliced across it. That's the one, you have to get your knee over it and it's got to hit your instep. But it's hit the outside of his boot and it's just sliced away. But there's another chance. Another chance. And Southampton will be buoyed by this. They know they're up against the alleged better side, so they know that they're going to have long periods without the ball. But they're making it count to a certain degree when they do get good chances and good territory and possession. In a way, I don't think Fulham are. I mean, they're creating enough for me, Fulham, that would frighten Southampton.
Last FA Cup meeting between these two sides, January of 2018. Fulham 0, Southampton 1. A certain James Ward-Prowse scoring only goal in that meeting. Last FA Cup win for Fulham against Southampton, January of 1999. A third-round replay. Barry Hales. Oh. It was at the Dell as well.
Oh, that is old. Oh.
Southampton here. It makes me feel old that I've seen Barry Hales play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was yesterday, wasn't it, Paul, right?
Yeah, you're quite right. Yesterday morning.
Oh, don't. It goes in an instant.
It certainly does.
Marco Silva stood on the edge of his
I don't think he's
technical
pleased.
area. No, I don't think he is.
I think he's pleased.
Here it's with Manning. 2 Fulham players for him to deal with. And now there's a wrestling match going on between Muniz and Nathan Wood.
Well, it's an assault. I mean, the ball's not even there. Nathan Wood shouldn't be wrestling with him. I think the desire too often is, it's like basketball, is to grip and your player. Rather, if he defends the area, he'll nick that in front of. But watch most defenders now. The art of defending just is gone completely. I'm just gonna grapple with you, and if I'm stronger, then so be it.
Ball is at the boots of Anderson. He doesn't go for a long pass this time. Gives it to Tom Kearney and then gets it back. Now with Cuenca, who turns it back to Lecomte, who I'm going to say hasn't been as busy as the Southampton goalkeeper,
no.
But what Perez has had to deal with, he's dealt with quite comfortably.
Exactly right, yeah.
Here a throw in from Castagna rather. Ball is now with Anderson. We've got about 10 minutes left of the first half here at Craven Cottage. BBC Radio London DAB, Sports Extra 2, the BBC Sport website. And at the moment it is goalless between Fulham and Southampton. Place in the last 8 of the FA Cup is up for grabs. Fulham managed to get there last season. They lost to Crystal Palace. How did they get on the FA Cup last season?
Well,
they did all right, didn't they?
Life changed for Crystal Palace players and fans and everyone.
Absolutely. Here it's with Harrison Reed. Harrison Reed wide on the right. He's got Kasper Janda for company. It's collected by the German Youth International. Now a short pass to Cienza. Back to Janda. Janda now launches it forwards. Larin manages to keep the ball in play, tries to get away from Cuenca and manages to do so. The Southampton number 9 will square it, and maybe he was being a bit too unselfish there, and it allows Fulham to recover enough to only see Southampton get a corner out of that move.
Well, to be truthful, it's just far too easy for Larin to turn there, and Cuenca just isn't close enough. He should have kept that there. But then look at the Southampton players streaming forward. They're 3v3 in the box. Where are Fulham's defensive midfielders? They've streamed forward. There were 2 players at the back post for Larin to hit. There's lucky Chukwueze nicked it. That would be a worry for me if I'm, if I'm Marco Silva. That shouldn't be happening.
Corner for Southampton, right in front of those Southampton fans who are in the Putney Bridge end here at Craven Cottage. 37 minutes played. It's a left-footed in-swinger, and it's Cuenca, I think, who heads it up into the air. Muniz is now trying to get ahead to it as well as the home side attempt to clear it. Back to Castagna. Castagna almost, bounces it off Tom Fellows in the end. It ends up rolling back to Lecomte, which is fortunate for Fulham. But now Southampton forward again, down the right. Cross that comes in, block that takes it out. Another Southampton corner. The fans of the Championship side feeling rather encouraged. Again,
4v4 in the box there where the ball's being crossed. They're prepared to take risks. Is the goalkeeper coming up?
I think he is.
No, he's having a chat.
Okay.
Goalkeeper should get back there where he should be.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if he stays up there...
Telling you, that's a risk.
Yeah.
But they're prepared to risk going forward.
Anderson sees him up there, he's definitely going for goal. It's going to be a corner for Southampton, another one. Another left-footed in-swinger, another Fulham clearance. Now it comes back to Kearney, and Fulham are away. And it's Ryan Sessegnon who's racing up the pitch. Smith-Rowe as well. I think the referee played advantage as Kearney looked to be clipped. Sessegnon with a cross in. It's Cienza who heads it away. Comes back as far as Kearney. He doesn't go for the shot, chooses to play it to Castagna. Castagna with the delivery, and it bounces off a couple of Fulham heads, but only to be collected by Southampton, who now play it up to Larin on halfway.
Again, I tend to think that they're quite comfortable, Southampton, when Fulham are attacking. They're not doing enough, Fulham, for me. It's far too... And there's a couple of times Tom Kearney, I'm thinking, shoot. And he's passing it wider. Shoot. You could hear the crowd say it. But the worry for me is when Fulham lose the ball, just how quick Southampton break, and break with quality.
Here it's with Reed. Reed with the threaded pass. It's intercepted by Woods. Reed hoping to find Muniz with that pass. Fulham, though, have possession back. Kearney squares to Reed. Forward to Smith Rowe, out to Chukwueze, left-hand corner of the Southampton box. Chukwueze across, and Ryan Manning at the far post is the player who gets the touch to take it out. Fulham with a corner with 6 minutes left of the first 45.
Well, is it a decent cross? It looks great, but I think, has he got his head up and had a look, or has he just crossed it? Because everyone else is middle of the goal. No one's at the far post there, so Manning has to do that because he's got his back to play and he hasn't had a call. So yeah, it's another chance for Fulham, but Southampton have been dealing with these quite well.
Another corner for Fulham. It's taken by Bob this time, and it gets a punch from the Southampton goalkeeper. Now Cienza's the player who's hoping to race forward. Still going.
4v2.
Crosses halfway.
4v2.
Chukwueze and Ryan Sessegnon are the players back there. The cross that comes in, it's Fellows who's leaping, and he should have done better. I
keep telling you, Cienza drives for the ball. It gets through Fulham's midfield far too easy, and then they are 4v2, and it's not two defenders either.
I was going to say, it's not two defenders.
How is that possible when Fulham are in good possession, that they give the ball away and within 10 seconds Southampton are at their goal and there are no defensive players? That would worry me. But for poor final ball, Southampton could be a couple of goals up.
Still goalless here. How Wimbledon doing against Northampton? Izzy Gilligan.
It's still Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0. Home side still dominating. They came close through James Tilley, who had a go on a deflected set piece from the edge of the area with a low strike, but a brilliant save from Lee Burge kept Wimbledon's lead to 1. Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0.
I think they'd be quite frustrated for them. I think
free kick to Southampton here, yeah.
I think, you know, what was it, 5 minutes to go? I think he's beginning to think about what he wants to say to them, Marco Silva, because this hasn't been good enough. Southampton look like the team posing the threat for me, you know, but for a couple of poor passes, they could be a couple of goals up.
It's Bree who waits behind this free kick. And it's Ryan Sessegnon who gets his head to it. Now Muniz clears it further. It's with Yanda on the edge of the centre circle. Comes to Kearney. Chukwueze will keep the ball in play. Given back to Castagna to find Anderson, and now a touch from Cuenca. Both stood right on the edge of the Fulham box. 42 minutes on the clock here at Craven Cottage. 0-0 at the moment between Fulham and Southampton in this FA Cup tie. Ball is up to Castagna. Castagna with a delivery from the right-hand side. And again, Southampton are able to deal with that danger. Ball is with Azaz, has to turn it back to his defenders. Now a touch from Yanda to give the ball back to his goalkeeper. As you say, both managers will be thinking at this stage about what they're going to say to their players at half-time. Shouts for something from the Southampton fans as Cienza appeared to have been fouled.
He wasn't fouled, he played for it.
And ball comes to Smith Rowe, lays it back for Bob. Got players squeezing him. Bob, as he finds Chukwueze, back to Oscar Bob again, still with Bob. The angle's getting tight, ends up striking it onto the roof of the Southampton net. It took a Southampton touch on its way there. It's another corner for Fulham late on in this first half.
That's their 72nd corner. It literally feels like that. They've got into those areas really well, Fulham, but just the final ball hasn't been there. Southampton have blocked and defended really well, if the truth be told.
That came off James Bree's face, didn't it, that Bob attempt?
Yeah, as long as it's not going in the goal, it'll take a smash in the face, no problem.
Corner to be taken by Harrison Reed.
No one there.
No one was there. As you say, corner number 72 for Fulham in this game, and they've probably offered a threat with one of those corners so far.
I think Southampton have been comfortable. You know, yes, the goalkeepers had 3 or 4 savable saves to make. For me, Southampton posed the better threat in terms of goal scoring, because they are getting 3 and 4. They're outnumbering Fulham in their own box when they do attack. Southampton, but it's just been for a poor final ball that's cost them at least 2 goals, in my opinion.
Right, I'm not an expert on body language, but Marco Silva is slumped in his seat.
He's not happy.
He's got his hood pulled up so you can't see his mouth.
Yeah, he's not happy.
This is because he doesn't want us to even be able to sense, like Darren Brown, what he's thinking at the moment.
He's not happy because, you know, and I think everyone on the bench knows if there's a Portuguese version of the hairdryer, they might be getting it this lot.
Oh yeah.
But the thing about it is, as I said before, when you have a collection of players that haven't played a lot of minutes, this is what you get: slightly out of sync, not quite cohesive. This is exactly what you get.
Ball is with Chukwueze. Chukwueze brings it down. Smith-Rowe and Bob into the box. Muniz is there as well. Comes back to Kearney. Kearney will then play it short to Bob. Now turn back to Castagna. Southampton again have got plenty of players in yellow and blue inside their 18-yard box. Now with Reed, comes in, trying to find Muniz, but Wood will get there first. I think it was Harwood Bellis, wasn't it, who got to it first. Well, a promising move from Fulham at the end of this first half.
Yeah, but the shot is out of nowhere. I mean, I think he was listening to the lady behind us who was screaming shoot.
Yeah.
I think he finally heard them.
Ball comes to Kearney. Kearney now to Bob. He was trying a quick pass to Reed, and the groans will tell you that he didn't find him. And we've got 2 minutes.
Well, they keep trying to look for the perfect goal. That's the thing. They're trying to be perfect. And sometimes, out your feet, smash it in the box or have a shot. Just do something, you know, that, you know, doesn't need, you know, spending ages obsessing over.
Nothing special, just straightforward.
Sometimes it is like that. Get out your feet, get the ball in the box, win the knockdowns, get a shot. But they're trying to be too intricate. And when you do that sometimes, you allow the defending side time and space to be able to defend, and everything then becomes in front of you.
Alex Iwobi and Raul Jimenez among the players available on the bench for Fulham here. That was a brilliant cross from the right wing for Southampton.
He's not offside either.
No.
Oh, now he's offside.
Oh, okay, right. Now the flag is raised because that was a lovely ball, wasn't it? And Marin right in front of Fulham goal.
Great ball. They posed more of a threat because what they do is they run forward and pass forward and put the ball in the box in a way that Fulham take ages. Now you look at Southampton now, they're all back. Having been bent out of shape, they're all back now, and it takes a lot to try and break a team down when, you know, all 11 players are behind the ball.
And that's exactly what they're doing at the moment, Southampton. Everybody's inside the Southampton half, but Fulham are struggling to find space. Again,
because they're taking forever. And they come locked into, no, we've got to play this way. Instead of saying, you know, one person, just go and dribble. Go and drive into a space, see what happens.
Ball forward from the Southampton goalkeeper, finds the head of Cuenca in the Fulham defence. And now, well, it's a chase between Nathan Wood and Rodrigo Muniz. And Daniel Perret says, do you know what, I'll get to it first, don't worry about it. Ball is back in midfield. Brought down by Azaz, and goes for an overhead kick even though he sat down on the pitch. And the 2 minutes of added on time at the end of the first half have gone. The half-time whistle is blown here, and in this FA Cup tie we are still waiting for a first goal. At the break here at Craven Cottage, it is Fulham 0, Southampton 0.
Total Sport Live,
BBC Radio London.
Well, what was it? The Small Faces, wasn't it? Had a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'm not quite sure that's fair, Paul Mortimer, but one or two things that you said. You want to see more zip, zip, zip from Fulham. You want to see someone having a go. Bit more pace. They're a bit too slow. Have they just sort of not really woken up yet, Paul Mortimer?
Feels like that, but let me tell you, they're walking into a buzzsaw at the moment because Marco Silva will wake them up. I've got to say, it's just been far too easy for Southampton, and they have looked a threat going forward every time. And what worries me is just how many times they've had 3 and 4 in Fulham's box, but for a poor cross. And there's no Fulham defensive players anywhere to be seen. They're struggling to get back, and that's a problem. As the game goes on, that's a problem. For me, Southampton look a good side. Fulham taking far too long over everything they're doing.
Can some of that be about the changes that have been made and players who've not played a lot of football, that they're not quite up to the speed? If you just stuck with the team that have been playing week in, week out, they'd hit their straps right from the get-go.
It's a contributing factor. I have no doubt about that. Is, you know, continuity and consistency of the same team playing is important. And when you have, you know, like I said to you earlier on, if you have 2 or 3 players that are brought in, yes, you can cater for that. But when you've got half a dozen, 8 or 9, who haven't had minutes and haven't played together, because they wouldn't have played this team,
no,
you know, together, you can be slightly out of sync, because players are at different levels of fitness as well, by the way. So slightly out of sync, slightly not with it, and they're up against a team who are with it, are in sync, are confident, have had a week's preparation as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about after the midweek game Fulham had, they've probably had a couple of hours preparation, not days.
Yeah.
You know, so those are contributing factors. But what Marcus Silva will be saying is each individual has to look at themselves and say, are they contributing enough? And they'd have to say no.
Well, yeah, 15 minutes to have a go at them. And he is a passionate guy. We know he's going to have a few words to say as well, isn't he? Let's face it. So let's see what reaction. Well, he's going to have to have a good number 2, because the number 2 is going to have to hold him back. Yes.
And say, look, you can't, because you've got to send them out again, you know, engaged and empowered and confident. So you can't really slap them down too much.
No.
Because otherwise they'll come out doubting, and that's not what you want.
No, certainly not. Paul, Emma, back with you for the second half of that one. 0-0 at the break between Championship Southampton and Premier League Fulham in the FA Cup 5th round. Port Vale are playing Sunderland this afternoon as well. Just to remind you, we've got full commentary tomorrow of West Ham United against Brentford in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Let's go to League One then, shall we? Looking good at half-time for Leyton Orient to move up to 46 points at home to Northampton. Izzy Gilligan's got this one.
Yes, AFC Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0, and I think Johnny Jackson will be quite pleased with how his side have played so far. They've dominated the possession and put together some really nice passages of play, one of which saw Marcus Brown's ball tapped in by Callum Maycock for his second of the season. And then just before half-time, Wimbledon had a couple of chances, Maycock almost making it 2, but Lee Burge getting a glove to that strike, and then James Tilley sending an effort over the bar. But there have been plenty of set pieces for the Dons, 6 corners and 3 free kicks, and they have looked more and more threatening with each one, so I wouldn't be surprised if they could get a second goal from a set piece in the second half. But for the visitors, it's not been as productive in the final third, and they haven't managed a shot all game. So half-time, Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0.
Yeah, your stat you gave us about Northampton and hitting the post or the bar the most in the league, they've got to have shots to even do that, even if they're going to get close to it in the frame of the goal, never mind forcing a save, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and then it's been difficult for them to get out of their half. There was a couple of good counter-attacks. They've got big Tom Eaves up front, and he's been quite threatening. But to be honest, Ryan Johnson has had quite a good hold of him for most of the game, and they've not managed to get any balls over. And if, as you said, if you can't get the shots, then and how are you going to score the goals?
Absolutely. Izzy, thank you very much for the time being. Second half coverage there from Plough Lane. Wimbledon leading that one by a 1-0 as well. Yesterday evening, there was almost a dramatic occurrence at the racecourse ground. In the end, it went with the Premier League side, Chelsea, coming through a tricky tie against Wrexham in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They needed extra time in order to do so, but they got there in the end. Liam Rosenior had to ride a little bit of a wave before the Blues wrote the story of the game.
The ball is played forward for Smith. Smith gets it down and scores! Oh, he beat Sanchez far too easily. Sanchez came out of his goal. Banyashil was chasing him, but so simple for Wrexham. Smith 1-on-1, just passed it past him into the net, and Wrexham have the lead. 1-0 against Chelsea. Away from Hyam, and Galat plays it to his left to Garnacho, and Garnacho shoots, blocked on the line. Oh, it hits the goalkeeper and goes in, but he passed it into the back of his own goalkeeper, and Conco was off the ground. Johnson connects it in, it's awful, but it's headed out to Windass, and Windass shoots it. It's 2-1 to Wrexham, and it's come off Callum Doyle. It's hit Doyle. everything about it.
Andre Santos has passed forward. That's shielded by Dobson. Santos has got it back. Deflects into the area. Oh, Acheampong scores into the roof of the net. He got away from Dobson, and that's an excellent finish from Josh Acheampong. Only his second goal for the club, and he's rescued Chelsea and Liam Rosenior. Wrexham 2, Chelsea 2.
You say forget it.
Neto thought about crossing, actually plays it back. Asugo fills it in. Garnacho's at the back post. He turns it in. What's happened is Garnacho has scored, and Chelsea ahead for the first time on the night. Wrexham 2, Chelsea 3. Now João Pedro running free through the middle into the D to the edge of the area and shooting into the bottom corner to finish off this cup tie and make it 4-2 to Chelsea. João Pedro scoring for the 4th time this week, the 18th time for Chelsea this season, and that wins it and sends Chelsea through and Wrexham out.
Some performance from Wrexham. We were on the ropes at times, but with our quality in moments, we found a way to win, and I'm delighted we're through to the next round.
In terms of the performance in normal time, how worried were you that maybe the connections weren't quite there and you were struggling to find those opportunities to finish them off?
Yeah, we were, but you have to give Wrexham credit. They beat Nottingham Forest a few rounds ago. This is a really difficult place to come. This team are pushing for promotion to the Premier League. And you'll see, I'm sure, tomorrow, with all of the games in the FA Cup, there'll be shocks. You have to respect the opposition that you're playing against. These are such difficult games. I'm just delighted that we're through. We have a clean bill of health, and we can focus on the running.
And you had made 9 changes. Do you think that fed into maybe those connections not quite being there?
Yeah, it's natural. You're never going to be perfect. But I trust my group and I need to give them a chance. We've got Romeo Lavia 60 minutes, Dario Sugo 60 minutes, and they're going to be really important players for us in the next few games.
Able to get through. What do you think those players will learn from this?
Loads when we get back to the training ground and we analyse, but not just learn, they'll be sharper. They'll be fitter, they'll be brighter. You have to build players' fitness up in the right way, and that stands our squad in a really difficult moment of the season when there's so many games.
And just a word for Wrexham and, the challenge that they posed today. Yeah,
it's hard, isn't it? Because they're going to be disappointed not to be still in the FA Cup, but they were magnificent. Phil's doing an incredible job. He's a manager I have huge respect and time for with the experience he's had in the game. And if they play like that, they have a magnificent chance of doing something special in promotion.
Certainly was a good night for Chelsea. Wrexham certainly gave them some real fears. Obviously, we were reduced to 10 late in the second half going into added time. Got back to 3-3. However, that equalising goal in extra time was cancelled out as well. So Chelsea progress into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, as do Liverpool, as do Arsenal, as do Manchester City, who will progress between Port Vale and Sunderland. That game's upcoming. And, of course, we've got the second half of Fulham against Southampton shortly here on BBC Radio London as well. Tomorrow night, we're going to bring you all the action from the London Stadium. Brentford taking on West Ham United, the Hammers, who have moved to within now very, very close touching distance, just goal difference of being out of the bottom 3 in the Premier League and just a point behind Tottenham Hotspur. Brentford, at the other end of the table, still being linked with a push for European qualification through the Premier League. The Hammers have hit good form of late. Couple of defeats notwithstanding, away at Chelsea and, of course, against Liverpool. But their manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, does not think the Cup is going to be a distraction.
No, the Cup, it's always a good competition for us. We love the Cup, and this is what we are here talking about now. Let's focus on the Cup. It's really, really important. It's in our home against a tough opponent, but a competition that we want to try and go through.
They have had a couple of setbacks of late. That defeat at Chelsea when they were 2-0 up, and of course conceding 3 first-half goals at Liverpool last weekend to be 3-0 down at the break from set pieces. They drew the second half, I think we can call it, can't we, 2-2, and then beat Fulham during the week at Craven Cottage. Nuno says his players have got the maturity to cope with setbacks.
I think we've been able to react well, like you said. Not every time it's possible, but the bounce back from poor performance is always important, especially in the fight that we are involved in. And we saw against Fulham that the players reacted pretty well after Liverpool. We achieved a good performance, a good result. So we hope it continues. But what we really consider is to avoid setbacks. So let's try to keep this flow as long as we can.
On the opposite side of the coaching boxes will be Keith Andrews, nominated for Manager of the Month for February. As you'd imagine from Keith, he says it's all about a team ethos, not a personal recognition.
I think, yeah, listen, it is nice, of course, but it's just testament to the work that's gone on and the levels of performances that the boys have produced, especially away from home during this period. I think that the work that goes in from everybody has got us to that point over a period of time, which we've worked tirelessly to get to. So it's nice to see it come to fruition in some big games. But of course, yeah, it's a nice pat on the back, I suppose, for everybody that's played a huge part in it.
The draw at Bournemouth certainly kept them well and truly in the hunt when it comes to qualifying for European football next season through the Premier League. Away form has been pretty impressive as well. So just for, Espirito Santo, the same sort of question to Keith Andrews. Is this a game that's a distraction, or is he really keen for it?
Just really approach it looking to win it would be this really simple answer. You're right, we're in a pretty good position in terms of where we are. We've treated the cup competition seriously, and this one will be no different. A tricky game. Their performances and results have improved over recent weeks, and they've got themselves into a better position clearly in the league. So yeah, it'll be a tricky game for us, but one we'll treat with the utmost respect and do everything we can to navigate through to the quarterfinals.
Full commentary of that one tomorrow night as well. Rob Green's Monday night version of Total Sport coming live from the London Stadium. We'll have some guests talking to us ahead of that game, plus looking back at the weekend, which is including, of course, Fulham at home to Southampton. Second half upcoming right now here on BBC Radio London.
BBC Radio London at breakfast.
We'll have more on that story across the morning.
A story that has dominated the headlines this week.
What will today's meeting bring?
I think it will be a very tricky meeting.
Just give us a sense of where this sits in that.
It's certainly the biggest scandal since the Second World War.
We stand for Londoners, and we're here for Londoners.
Aaron Paul.
We're here together, and it's lovely to be with you on a Friday.
Incredible story this morning.
Breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio London.
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
OK, we'll keep you up to date with the second half of Wimbledon against Northampton at Plough Lane, but our commentary game, of course, is at Craven Cottage. Second half of Fulham against Southampton, goalless at the break. Paul Mortimer is alongside Emma Jones.
Thank you. The two sets of players just re-emerging from our left-hand side, and the cottage here at Craven Cottage. Do you think those dressing rooms have had an update, Paul, since you were in there?
Oh, big time. Oh, listen, I knew every inch of them, having to clean them and mop them and everything for 2 or 3 years. But you know what? I was walking through Bishop's Park on the way here, and a huge smile sort of came over my face, because it was just, I go back 40-odd years, 35 years to when I was a kid, walking through Bishop's Park from Putney Bridge to get to Fulham to start your day as an apprentice, and to see what it is now, see that lovely stand as you walk through Bishop's Park. It's just absolutely wonderful how they've progressed.
Big Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is here today watching on. There is I don't think there are any changes to either side at half time.
I don't see any, no.
And the camera was following a rather stern-faced Marco Silva back across the pitch.
Well, some of those players, I would suggest it's the old, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to liven yourselves up, or the Shepherd's Crooks coming out, and believe me, there could be 3 or 4 who just haven't been really at it You know, they've sort of been on the periphery of it, haven't really, you know, there's some you haven't even name-checked on a regular basis.
So, second half underway, no changes to either side at half-time. The Compton goal for Fulham, it's Timothy Castagna, Joachim Andersen, Jorge Cuenca and Ryan Sessegnon, the back four. Harrison Reed and Tom Kearney, the captain, in front of them. Oscar Bob and Chukwueze on the wings. Emil Smith-Rowe behind Rodrigo Muniz up front for the home side. Daniel Perez is the goalkeeper for Southampton. It's Ryan Manning, Nathan Wood, Taylor Harwood, Bellis there, captain, and James Bree in defence. Tom Fellows, Flynn Downs are the central midfielders in front of them. Leo Cienza, Casper Yander, Finn Azaz and Kyle Larin are your Southampton 11. I think the talking point from the first half, Paul, which I have to say, I know I should be painting these pictures on the radio, but struggling to explain that disallowed goal before it was disallowed. The whole goal kick bouncing off a player, going in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. Southampton have decided to take a quick goal kick. The goal keeper smashed it against one of his own players, knocked him onto the floor. It's popped back to Muniz, who's put it in the net, I think. And the refs, you know, sort of gone, no, you didn't take it, the goal kick, when I wanted you to take the goal kick, which, if he wants to take it quick, you know, it's
his prerogative, isn't it? Yeah.
Risk and reward.
Pass forward, Castagna tries to go Muniz with a header just over the crossbar. Really positive start to the second half for Fulham. Crossing from Castagna, Muniz leaps to what felt like about 7'5".
Yeah, just you know, it just wasn't quite where he needed it to be for him to really get enough purchase on it to keep it down. But already they're doing something they didn't ordinarily do. Just get the ball wide and get a crossing. It wasn't about who, just get the ball into an area and let them deal with it there.
Harry Wilson is watching on. He's got a packet of crisps by the looks of things. Here it's with Sessegnon. He puts a cross in. And, well, probably unsurprisingly, Fulham, the home side, the Premier League side, are the side that have probably had an earful from Marco Silva at half-time.
I would suggest that. I think, you know, that they need to do more, Fulham. They need to be more incisive and just quicker. Just do everything quicker. You know, make Southampton run back towards their goal a little bit more than they have been doing at the moment.
Reed forward to Smith-Rowe, out to Sessegnon, who's in short sleeves and gloves. Now in field to Smith-Rowe, who's got the white Under Armour on. Now back to Cuenca. Fulham in this all-white kit, which I have said repeatedly this season, looks like they're either Leeds or Real Madrid. Either way,
well, I tell you
they
what,
need some black shorts, I think, on them.
They're not playing like the Real Madrid I know.
They're not.
They're not even playing like Leeds.
No. Here it's forward to Kearney. Kearney then tries to lay it out to Bob, who had a busy first half and is seeing a fair bit of the ball early in this second 45. Now with Reed, who squares it to Sessegnon. Out to Chukwueze. Chukwueze now stepping towards Bree. Still going Chukwueze. Lays it off for Reed. Reed with a shot. Stings the gloves of the Southampton goalkeeper. Harrison Reed from about the place where he scored that goal against Liverpool.
And that wasn't happening in the first half. He would take a touch. And if you look at all the Fulham players, you can tell there's a bit of a malaise. Everyone's taking a touch too many. There's no 1 and 2 touch. Everyone's taking a touch too many. It's a foul, that, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, Anderson's leaning into Larin.
Ref won't give it because, again, I don't think refs understand the nuances there. Larin's done well. Sucked him in and now spinning off him and he won't let him go. It's a foul.
Ball is with Cuenca. It is a clear but slightly chilly Sunday afternoon in West London, and it is goalless at the moment in this FA Cup tie, with the Premier League hosts taking on a Southampton side who are unbeaten in 9 in all competitions coming here, have their ambitions very much about getting back into the Premier League. Relegated last season, relegated with 7 games left to play. They had a dreadful season,
didn't they?
They were
terrible last year, though, weren't they? It was just, how many managers did they have? And just terrible, really poor.
And they've got through a manager already this season, haven't they? Here it's with Bob out to Castagna. Castagna high on the right-hand side. Turns it back to Bob. Right-hand corner of the box. Short play to Kearney. Kearney then is twisting and turning, has Cienza in front of him. Now it's Anderson with a cross. Wood gets his head to it in the Southampton defence. I'm in Paul Mortimer's brain and he's saying just shoot.
Yeah.
Here it's forward to Kearney, tries to thread it to Bob, and it's Peretz who plays it back to halfway. Now with Cuenca and Anderson.
Oh.
Anderson with a header that almost is headed into the boots of Larin, and now it's back with Cuenca. We've played 5 minutes of the second half. BBC Radio London DAB, Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website. We are waiting for a goal in this game. 0-0 at the moment at Craven Cottage. Comes back to Bob. Bob then rolls it to Kearney. He's encouraged to shoot. Well, he leans back and the shot takes the ball into those cheering Southampton fans.
Well, you see, Southampton don't have to run back, because when the ball goes wide for Fulham, you know they're not going to cross it. You know they're going to cut inside and they're going to try and pass it. You try and thread their way through. It's becoming fairly predictable. And they have to experiment sometimes. They have to change, they throw the ball in the box every now and again.
Here with Anderson. Anderson is in central midfield at the moment, trying to make something happen. The referee blows his whistle to give the ball to Southampton. I think Joachim Anderson saying that came off my chest and nothing else. The referee had a better view of that than we did. And, he's playing he's dropped the ball in front of Tom Kearney, so I'm not entirely sure. I thought he'd given that ball to Southampton.
I thought the ball hit the ref, by the way.
Right, okay.
Which is why he's giving it back to them.
There was a lot going on there.
Because and the ref was blocking, so we couldn't see it because the ref was actually blocking it. But I think as he's flicked it, Joachim Anderson, the ball's hit the referee and landed at a Southampton player's feet.
Comes out to Reed. Now short pass to Bob. Reed had carried on running. Was rather hoping, I'm sure, for a pass back from the former Man City man. Player who got to an FA Cup final with Manchester City, Oscar Bob, to lose to Manchester United. Ball with Chukwueze into Smith Rowe. Now with Chukwueze again, pings it to Ryan Sessegnon, who's high up the pitch.
It's a foul again.
Yeah, there are shouts from every single Southampton fan saying foul. Referee has allowed play to continue. 53 minutes on the clock. Now with Kearney. Kearney's brought down in midfield. That looks soft to me, Paul.
It's a foul, but I think it's a foul to make a point with the ref.
Yeah.
Because the ref's giving nothing when Larin's getting fouled and held by, and he's saying it now. I mean, it's a soft foul. He kicks him. It's a frustrated centre forwards tackle. I'm just going to kick you, and that's it. And he's done that. But he's making a point. They're making a point to the referee at how many times Joachim Anderson has just obstructed Larin as he's turned. And you watch. I think the ref might let one of them go as time goes on. But Fulham they need to change. I've not seen the subs are up, warming up.
Yeah.
I think Iwobi's got his down to his shorts, I think now. So take his tracksuit off. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think they've got to do more because Southampton have been comfortable.
Well, let's see what they can do from this free kick. Harrison Reed is waiting behind it. There are players, plenty of them, inside the D, waiting for this free kick to be taken to the far post. Oh, it's headed in. Oh, it's over.
Offside.
The goal line. And the offside flag is up. Timothy Castagna thought he put Fulham ahead, but the referee's assistant raises his flag, and another what looked like a goal for Fulham is waved away by the officials here at Craven Cottage, and the Southampton goalkeeper looks like he might have picked up a knock as well.
No, he's fine. If the ball had gone in a bit of goal, he'd have been saying they're rolling over because he's made a mistake. As the ball's been headed, oh, there's offside, yeah. Let me see if he does head it.
Anderson's offside, isn't he?
Yep, he was offside. He was offside.
Yeah.
But the keeper palms it back into oncoming traffic. That's why. You know, you look at now the goal's disallowed. He's fine. Had the goal had stayed, he'd be rolling over, trying to say he'd been injured. I'm telling you, because it's goalkeeper error there. He's palmed it into oncoming traffic. He should have been pushing that away, but Joachim Anderson was offside, so
yeah, he was.
It's a moot point.
We got to see that quite quickly, and the decision was made very quickly as well, actually.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah. So VAR in use, a reminder, in the FA Cup. Saying that, I think the referee's assistant might have seen that with the blind eye.
Yeah, he did.
Without the requirement of any technology. So that disallowed goal in the first half, and now that was definitely offside. So 10 minutes played in the second half here at Craven Cottage. No goals yet here, but last time we were at Plough Lane, Wimbledon were ahead against Northampton. How are they doing, Izzy Gilligan?
They are still ahead here. Wimbledon 1, Northampton 0. Things have picked up for the visitors a bit, though. Saw a glimpse of a chance when former Don Nesta Guinness-Walkers sent a long throw-in, but then their first real shot when Jake Evans got a strike off from the edge of the box, but Joe McDonald got himself to it to keep things. Wimbledon 1, Northampton 0.
1-0 there, 0-0 here. Smith throw out to Sessegnon. Sessegnon with a hanging cross from the left. Castagna keeps it in. It'll be flicked away by Flynn Downs to Reed. And it's not quite Rose there, maybe Row P from the Fulham midfielder.
But it's simple stuff that creates a chance. Get the ball in the box. It wasn't a great ball. Decent hook back from Castagna. The ball pops out to the edge of the box. One-touch shot. It can be as simple as that sometimes.
How long will it be before Marco Silva decides to make some changes? A reminder that this Fulham side were in action on Wednesday evening, of course. Losing here against West Ham. It's only the second time that they have failed to score at Craven Cottage all season. The other time was a 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. So they've lost 1-0 at home to Arsenal and West Ham this season, but they have scored in every other game that they have played at Craven Cottage.
It's a good thing, because you know they score.
Yeah.
They score at home, and that's what you know, in terms of team play, the Southampton lot will be knowing is they create chances at home, but they haven't so far. They've just not been convincing Fulham today.
I noticed something about the Southampton kit in the first half, and I just had to double check at half-time with our colleagues from the visiting station. Southampton do not have their names on the backs of their shirts, and it is a 1976 kit because they won the FA Cup in 1976.
Yes.
They beat Manchester United in the final. They've also been the losing finalists 3 times, most recently in 2003 when they lost to Arsenal. A certain Bobby Pires scored the goal on that occasion. Here it's with Larin for Southampton, still racing forward. Azaz is with him. Back to the Southampton number 9. This is a real opportunity. It was Fellows, and Lecomte having to drop down and save that with his shins at the near post.
Well,
Tom Fellows with a great chance there.
Well, I tell you now, he's going to have to make changes now, the Fulham manager. You can't have this. They've given the ball away in midfield and they're off. And if you look at Azaz, who makes that run, and then the ball goes and he should score again. It's a really, really good chance. It's a really good opportunity. And, you know, the 2 best chances of the game have fallen to Southampton, and they've not taken them.
Now with Muniz, gets a push from Woods. Fulham, I think, are going to get the free kick, are they, as a result of this?
It's a foul.
Yeah.
Lovely dive from Muniz. Lovely swan dive, I've got to say. One of the Southampton players, I think, took an elbow to the face.
Joachim Andersen, one of those long balls from him. It's Bree who gets his head to it to take it out. Ryan Sessegnon with a quick throw-in. Turn it back onto the pitch. The 33-year-old Southampton manager, watching on the edge of the technical area, took over as an interim manager in November, made permanent in December. Here it's with Bob, still coming in. Bob's strike is blocked by Manning. Now comes back to Kearney. Kearney still going. And every time Fulham look like they've got an opportunity, there are just too many players in yellow and blue around them.
Again, too many touches are being taken. You know, Bob could have shot so much earlier, but the more touches he takes, the more the defenders squeeze out to him, the less space he's got, and that's why they're blocking really well. It came to Kearney, same thing, because you take too many touches, they squeeze up and block, because they know you're going to shoot eventually. They block it as well. So, like I said, I think they've been comfortable, Southampton, defensively. I really do. Fulham have not done enough.
15 minutes have elapsed in this second half, so an hour has been played at Craven Cottage. BBC Radio London, DAB Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website. Still goalless here.
What are you doing? Oh.
Ball back to Lecomte. Reminder, we are at London Stadium tomorrow. We are guaranteed a London side. We've got two already, obviously, but we know that either West Ham or Brentford will be in the quarter-finals because they are playing each other tomorrow evening. Rob Green will be at London Stadium for that game before full commentary. Here it's with Sessegnon. Forward to Muniz. Bounces up. And Peretz would have known that Muniz was still racing forwards. I think it was sort of bouncing slightly awkwardly there, wasn't it? Forward to Larin. Still going. Southampton in! Oh, did Lecomte get a glove to that? And here, well, there's a Southampton player down.
Yeah, if he's going to give the foul, Castagna should get booked. Or has he just played the advantage? But they should score again.
Yeah.
It's quite a cynical foul here, by the way. Catches him high. Knows what he's doing, got to stop him. And if the ref gives a foul, he should book. I think was it Castagna? I think it was Castagna.
I think it was Castagna.
Should book him, but again, it's another chance. And Rocky Manderson had a decision to make there as well. As Larry goes by him, he could have clipped any clip, and he's off. Again, they've had the best chances of the game.
Yeah, they really have.
Best chance of the game. Out of nowhere, by the way, they've just again. In transition, Fulham give the ball away, and they break so quickly, and I don't think Fulham have the lung power or the physical capacity in the midfield to stay with them.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's got his cards out. I think here the referee, so he is going to show a yellow card, but I'm not sure if it's going to be for the protest rather than for the challenge.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what.
No, I think he's showing. Did he just show a yellow card to the captain?
I think so. I think so. Because it's not to Castagna. He's 3 miles away on the other side of the pitch and staying away from the ref. But yeah, Cienza looks like, I think it's caught his knee, and it's a contact sort of injury. He'll run it off.
Well, it was Cuenca who just came to check on the Southampton player. So sorry, there were lots of players sort of stood close to the referee who did produce a yellow card,
he did.
but
not quite
it was
sure
slightly difficult to see exactly who he showed that to. But it might well have been to Harwood Bellis, because he was the player, as the captain, I suppose, who was arguing, arguing probably most passionately.
They've given the foul as well. Strange, because that should have been a booking if he's given the foul, because he's brought it right back. He's let the play go and allowed them to have a shot, which would have counted as a goal, and then penalised Fulham by bringing it back. Cienza looks in a bit of trouble, though.
Yeah, he stayed off the pitch, and comes forward down the Southampton right-hand side. Southampton currently down to 10 briefly in this game.
The change is coming for Fulham.
Yeah. And we think, my understanding is that I think Tom Kearney might be coming off for Iwobi. So that might be the change that is made in a moment. And I'm just going to confirm who that yellow card was shown to. And it would suggest that Cuenca's been shown the yellow card, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's going to be a change, and Tom Kearney is the player who's coming off. So we'll have to hand over the captain's armband. He gives it to Harrison Reed.
I think he's done OK, Tom Kearney, I've got to say.
And it's Alex Iwobi who comes on in his place.
He's not been the problem for me, Tom Kearney.
No.
He'll probably be looking at it and going, what, me? Me?
He's been seeing a bit more Premier League action recently, hasn't he?
So
because
it might be
I think Sasha Lukic has been out injured, and also I don't think Marco Silva has stopped liking Berger and Lukic together.
Yeah, he has. I mean, and I read that they've got 3 games in something like 8 days or something like that. So it may be just saving his legs.
So maybe protecting Tom Kearney a little bit here, but obviously bringing on Alex Iwobi, who will be a player who will get forward quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a bit more. Not that Tom Kearney wasn't. Here it comes to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe follows his own header. Now flicks it to Bob. Bob won't get there before it's dealt with by Flynn Downs, who's back. And now Southampton try and get it away. Picked up again by Iwobi, one of those players who was off on African Cup of Nations duty. Back to Iwobi again. Player who's just been brought on by Marco Silva. Gets another touch on the Fulham right-hand side. Short pass to Castagna. Now with Bob. Back to, this could be a chance, just over from Muniz. Well, he's certainly making an impact, Alex Iwobi.
Well, you see the difference straight away. One touch.
Yeah.
The 3-1-2s he played, clip the ball back, and there's a chance at goal. When you move the ball quickly, it causes problems for the opposition, and Fulham haven't done that enough. Everyone wants to take 1 or 2 or 3 touches on the ball. They've got to move it quickly.
Scored a brilliant goal, didn't he, Alex Iwobi, against Tottenham not that long ago?
Yes. Yeah. How he put it in is beyond me.
Harry Wilson, I think, just sort of...
exactly what he did there, actually.
1-2s, yeah.
On the corner of the box, and he's just passed it into that far corner with a bit of curl off the inside of his foot. It was incredible. I bet he wouldn't be able to do that again.
No. How did you do that?
So
no idea.
unnatural it looked, that connection.
He's an FA Cup winner, Alex Iwobi, an unused sub in the Arsenal win in 2017. Here with Cienza. Cienza is seeing the pitch run out, and it'll end up going out of play on the far side. So Fulham have made a change. Looks like Southampton are going to make 2 changes. The players who are coming on are in a slightly different kit.
I was going to say, it looks...
The yellow is brighter.
Brighter yellow, doesn't it?
It is. So maybe only the starting 11 got this special kit. I don't know.
It's bizarre, isn't it? But the kit, you know what it looks like? It looks like these are shirts that have been washed 3 times.
They've definitely...
And they're brand new out the box.
The Southampton players on the pitch, their kits have been in a hot wash one too many times. And the ones that are coming on, those are, as you say, fresh out of the box. Here it's with Yanda. Yanda now across to Woods. No goals yet here at Craven Cottage. Extra time and penalties await to decide an FA Cup quarter-finalists. Right, I think the players... OK, they're just putting their tabards on, so they're not coming on anytime soon. It did look like they were stripped off and ready to go, didn't it?
It did, yeah, but I think the manager just said, oh, give us a minute.
Yeah.
Let's just see this through.
It's Cuenca who's chasing the ball. Fellows is racing after it as well for Southampton, but picked up by Lecomte. Now he will roll it out to Cuenca and then Anderson. 68 minutes played. Fulham, who've come past 2 championship sides to get to this stage in the competition, but did have to come back in both of those games. They allowed the championship side to score first, Middlesbrough and Stoke. But nobody has scored yet here. Now it comes to Yanda. Yanda tries to play it forward to Cienza. Intercepted by Sessegnon. Now with Iwobi. Fresh lungs from him down the left wing. Leaves it for Chukwueze. Chukwueze now rolls it back towards halfway and then turns it back to Cuenca.
Yeah, I think 1v1 sometimes you just got to go and take him on. But again, it's within 2 or 3 passes they give the ball away. It's sometimes you've got to, I'd rather give it away. Go and take him on. Go and do something positive. Go and push them back. Go and ask questions of them, but
too cautious.
There's a risk-averse aspect to this, isn't it? We just, not going to take a risk, and you're playing against a championship side.
And you're playing in the FA Cup. This isn't about keeping a clean sheet and getting a point.
Absolutely not. This is a one-off game. Yeah. Go and score a goal. But at the moment, Fulham don't look likely to score. They just don't.
Yeah, Southampton are looking most likely at the moment. They've got it with Manning. Manning forward, there's a chance!
Great save.
Lecomte had to touch it onto the frame of the goal. It was Finn Azaz who got the touch. And then it took the fingertips of Lecomte to just make sure it glanced away off the frame of the Fulham goal. We were suggesting that Southampton looked most likely, and their number 10 might well have put the championship side ahead.
It's a wonderful block from Cuenca, I've got to say, but that diverts the ball and it gives Lecomte a problem, and he manages just to get his his fingernail on it and tip it onto the bar. Great save.
Leads to a corner for Southampton. Championship sides are looking confident at the moment. 20 minutes left to play here at Craven Cottage. As the corner comes in, it found a Fulham head at the near post. Comes out to Chukwueze, who sort of looked for options and then thought, you know what, I'll just play it to halfway. And it'll be Casper Yander who turns it back to his goalkeeper, who has had a few saves to make in this game, but we keep saying that they have been comfortable so far. Any shots that Fulham have had on target haven't really been that awkward for the Southampton goalkeeper to deal with.
We both admit they've had the best chances of the game, bar none. 3 good chances they've had. Oh, the shirts are the same now.
The shirts are the same now. And I think Casper Yander is one of the players who's coming off, and Carl Larin is also coming off.
Interesting, he's been good up front.
Those are the changes that are being made. And 11 and 48 are the players that are coming on. So Ross Stewart's one of the changes.
Yes, good player, Ross Stewart.
For the for the visitors, and Cameron Bragg is also coming on. So those are the 2 changes. Ross Stewart, who's not long back from an injury.
Yeah, he's a decent player, Ross Stewart. Different from Larin. Larin, I think, is quicker. He's more of a strong runner, big lad target player.
Cameron Bragg, a midfielder, Scottish. Both of them are Scottish, in fact. Might not have surprised you, a Ross Stewart is Scottish. Here it's with Chukwueze. Squares it to Iwobi in central midfield. Now out to Bob. Right-hand corner of the box. Castagna on the overlap. Tries to put a ball in. It looked like a promising delivery. Now with Bob again. And Iwobi forward to Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe holds it up, gives it to Sessegnon. Might bounce back to Smith-Rowe off a Southampton block. And it's kept in play by Cienza on the Southampton right-hand side. Still racing forward, Cienza. Still going. Fellows and Azaz were the players who were up there. 72 on the clock. Now the Fulham fans are starting to make a bit more noise. The woman behind us who's been encouraging Fulham to shoot, she's almost lost her voice. Only dogs can hear her now. She's got so high-pitched. If these Fulham players can hear her, I think they understand what she's saying.
But they're just not being
following
able to do
instructions.
it. No, they're not following instructions.
Here it's with Cuenca.
But again, the worry, how Cienza, poor pass, but broke the lines and was into Fulham's back 4, and they were outnumbered again, Fulham.
Yeah. Reid is fouled.
Oh, he's going to book him for that.
And he's going to get a yellow card for that. So that's Flynn Downs into the book.
Silly now, because Flynn Downs has to make tackles, and he may get one wrong. And now, you know, I think we saw it a couple of weeks ago with Neto for Chelsea. Dissent the first card, the second card reckless tackle, and he has got that in him. So, you know, got to control his temperament now. It's a foul. It's a foul because he's got the player. He played the player before the ball. It's a foul, and he's done really well in there, quelling sort of, you know, the things Fulham are trying to do. But now he can't make a risky tackle.
Former West Ham and Swansea player. He goes into the book. We'll be at Plough Lane in a moment. Let's see, though, what Fulham can do with this. Chukwueze cuts in from the left-hand side. Now it comes to Iwobi. Iwobi forward, just behind Sessegnon. Sessegnon tries a cross. Southampton get a block. Cienza turns it back to Harwood Bellis, who gives it to his goalkeeper, who then plays it to halfway in Cuenca. Let's find out how Wimbledon are doing against Northampton. Izzy Gilligan.
It's still Wimbledon 1, Northampton 0, but perhaps the Dons are lucky to still be leading. After a shotless first half, visitors have had 5 in this one, so a big improvement for them. And Wimbledon have ridden the wave well, but bright spark James Tilley has gone off injured, and so they'll really want that second goal now to make it more comfortable. But for now, Wimbledon 1, Northampton 0.
Still goalless here. Comes back. This is a shot! Oh, it comes away off the post. Castagna with a left-footed drive. And it just goes out off the far post.
Well,
still 0-0.
Again, I mean, Iwobi's causing some problems. The ball ricochets and they get a bit fortunate. And I've got to say, he sliced across it with his right foot, so it's always going wide.
I thought it had hit the post, actually, but it didn't, did it? It went wide.
Because he sliced across it with the outside of his left foot, it's always going wide. But that's it in terms of chances for Fulham. That's the best chance they've had, I would suggest.
This issue that you have, Paul, with Fulham just not having enough players back when Southampton break, But at the same time, Fulham have players forward because they're trying to score the opening goal of this game.
I totally hear that. But you see, when you've got an opposition whose success has come from transition, you have to be careful.
Yeah. Castagna, Fulham winner, corner number 705.
See, what you tend to do is you start to creep forward. You've got a lot of the ball, you've got a lot of territory, players start to creep forward and they walk out of position, unwittingly they walk out of position.
Bob to take this corner. He's got a left arm raised. Lots of players waiting for this corner to be taken, and it's the Southampton captain, one of those big central defenders, who heads it back to the halfway line. Picked up by Sessegnon, now Iwobi, then quickly forward to Smith Rowe down the Fulham left-hand side. Back to Iwobi. Iwobi tries to clip it forward to Muniz. Shoot, says a very...
That's all we keep hearing.
I know. But, you know, if they could do it, Paul, it would help.
Well, the first time they asked him to shoot, he was on the left wing. So
I know.
I'm not sure he can shoot from there, but what do I know?
77 minutes played.
See, if you look, everyone's taken 2 and 3 touches. It's everyone, and
it's like they're 3-0 up at the moment.
It literally is.
Yeah.
They are set.
Yeah, they're comfortable, but they're not. And here it's with Downs.
Wins the ball back beautifully, Flynn Downs. I've got to say, it's a really good tackle. Nicked it off Alex Iwobi, and that was the only time where there were no Southampton players breaking out.
Now with Bragg, number 48 on his back for the substitute. Scored against Doncaster. Shouts of handball as it's played forward to Stewart. Southampton trying to play it in down the left-hand side. Now, though, it's with Fulham. Quickly lifted forward by Chukwueze. Chukwueze plays it forward to Muniz. Had Wood with him. Bragg helping out as well. Now it's with Sessegnon. Sessegnon to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe into the box down the left-hand side. Comes to Sessegnon. It's blocked up into the air and out into the Southampton fans. And the goalkeeper congratulated his captain for blocking that chance. Ryan Sessegnon, how close was he to putting Fulham ahead in this game?
Well, it's good play from Fulham. Simple. Into Smith Rowe, runs with it. Sessegnon underlaps inside. He's sent back to him. Bobbles a little bit, but it's great defensive block from Harwood Bellis. And that's what they've done really well all game, Southampton.
Means a corner. This one will be taken by Harrison Reed on the left-hand side to the far post. Joachim Andersen gets his head to it. Muniz tries an overhead kick, but doesn't come off. Back to Sessegnon. Southampton players stay back. Picked up by Reed. Back to Reed. Now wearing the captain's armband on the Fulham left. Now to Iwobi. Forward to Bob. Bob with the cross. The block out is from Manning. It's another corner for the home side.
Really
Still
good
goalless
play.
here.
And Iwobi is at the heart of it all. Really good ball into the sort of inside left position in the penalty area. Good run from Oscar Bob. But again, what's happened with a lot of the crosses there, a Southampton body's got in the way and blocked it literally every time. It's good defensive display from Southampton, you'd have to say.
Latest corner for the home side. Another one to be taken by Harrison Reed. This one is low to the near post, and this one makes contact with the Southampton head first. Reed is there to mop up, chases the ball to give it back to Sessegnon. Sessegnon then clips it forwards. Andersen tries to lay it back. Southampton, though, collecting their defence. Andersen then commits a foul despite his protests.
Great play from Bazaz. Knew he was in trouble, waited for the contact, fell over. Andersen obliged.
We have got just over 10 minutes of the 90. There will be added on time at the end of that. I'm just having a look to see. I suppose there are a few Fulham players sort of half-heartedly warming up.
Yeah, not really. It
No.
doesn't look like he's not. Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to make a change yet.
No.
He's just watching and waiting. The last thing he'd have wanted is extra time with, I guess, a midweek game.
It's so difficult, isn't it, when you're the home side, when you're the Premier League team. The expectation is that you are going to win. It is a cup set if you don't.
Well, you're supposed to brush this team aside. You know, they're what, top 10 in the Premier in the Championship. You should be brushing them aside, but they've not been good enough.
Here it finds the head of Fellows, but the flag is raised as he makes contact with his head.
You'd have to say Southampton have looked the more settled, the more constructive and positive side.
Now with Smith Rowe, who runs at the Southampton defence. Releases the ball to Bob. Bob into the box on the left-hand side, into Iwobi. Iwobi then back out to Bob. Unsurprisingly, Southampton are back in numbers. Here it's with Bob again, twisting and turning. Oh, he's clipped and brought down. I think the Fulham players are saying, is that a penalty? I mean, James Bree sort of leant into Bob there. Shake of the head from Paul Mortimer, and the referee and VAR agrees with you.
It was great defending. He just jockeyed and stayed there and said, all right, come and beat me. He doesn't get the ball, he does catch him.
He does catch him.
He does catch him. You look at it now, you look at it, he does catch him. There's no disputing that, but what the ref will say is there's not enough. That's what he'll say. He'll say varying degrees. There's not enough contact there to give a penalty.
A few more changes. I think at least one more.
Yeah, Cienza's coming off.
So Cienza's coming off, and I missed the number of the player who's coming on.
Oh.
And 16 is also
23 come on.
Okay. And Fellows is also...
Edozi's come on. Fellows has gone off, and I think it's Matsuki come on.
Yeah. Matsuki is the other player who's come on. So, 2 more changes made by the Championship side. Just 1 change made by Fulham to bring on Iwobi for Kearney in this second half. Up to Iwobi. Now with Brack. First touch from...
And you see what they've
Matsuki.
lost now, what they've lost up front is the running of Larin, that pace in behind Southampton, because Ross Stewart isn't quick. He's not going to go in behind and cause problems for Cuenca and Anderson. They must be delighted Larin's gone off, I've got to say. They have to be delighted, because he was causing no manner of problems.
Players who've come on, Samuel Edozie only made his first appearance of the season on the 7th of February. He's been out with a hamstring injury. And the number 27, Japanese international, scored in the FA Cup win against Doncaster. They've got a couple against Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. So Southampton making changes. And it's out to one of those now on this right wing. Little touch from Edozie. Now with Edozie again. Gets away from Chukwueze. He looks about 6'5".
Edozie, he's a big lad, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
Arms folded by the Southampton manager.
He'll be delighted.
Yeah, he will be happy at the moment.
Disappointed that they haven't actually put it to bed, because they've missed some good chances, and they've not really been threatened by Fulham on a regular basis that you kind of thought would happen.
We've got 7 minutes left, less than 7 minutes of the 90. There is still not a goal in this game. Will there be one before we have to play an extra 30 minutes? BBC Radio London, DAB, Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sport website with you at Craven Cottage for this FA Cup tie. Still Fulham 0, Southampton 0 in an overcast but clear West London on this Sunday afternoon. Ball is forward, gets a deflection as it was delivered by Bree on its way towards Lecomte.
Oh, there's a sub coming for Fulham.
Is it going to be Jimenez,
like Josh
perhaps?
King, maybe.
Maybe Josh King
sure.
is no. Let's see what Marco Silva is going to do. Rodrigo Muniz, of course, not long back from a long-term injury. Waiting for his first goal since the first game of the season, when they scored late against Brighton. The ball is in midfield here. Let's get a quick update from Plough Lane and Izzy Gilligan.
Yes, it's still Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0, and 85 minutes played. A brilliant chance just there for the Dons. Marcus Brown's strike cleared on the line by Sam Hoskins' header. That's the closest they've come all half, but they still lead. Wimbledon 1, Northampton Town 0.
Thank you very much. Here, Ryan Sessegnon has had a really great opportunity again. He and the goalkeeper end up lying down on the pitch. The ball ends up off it. But Ryan Sessegnon has had a couple of really good chances in this second half.
Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult one. It's one of those really good one-touch play that gets Ryan Sessegnon in. Really good play, and I think it hits a keeper in the face. I think he's probably saved it with his face. And Ryan Sessegnon has smashed it as well. So literally the goalkeeper's taken it, in the face.
Right in his jaw,
From, and that's, when we're talking about concussion and the concussive aspects, that's what that could do. No two ways about it. So they have to have a good look at him at the moment, because he will be all over the place. So wouldn't surprise me if they take a bit of time here, just making sure he's okay.
2 league goals for Ryan Sessegnon this season. So he scored the winner in an FA Cup game against Cardiff, then a cup win against Hull. That was back in 2017 when he was 3 years old.
Now if I'm Fulham, I will put the ball under the goalkeeper's nose and pile in, because they don't get a break now, do they? They don't get half a minute to clear their heads. He's got to go straight back into it.
Josh King is waiting to come on, but not before this corner is taken by Harrison Reed. As you say, a rather discombobulated Southampton goalkeeper.
Yeah. His reactions may not be as sharp because he's just taken a stunned slightly.
Let's see if Fulham can take advantage. It's Harrison Reed who takes it.
Oh, well done.
Well, it's Peretz who leaps and collects.
Having said that, that is goalkeeping practice, that corner.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those that, if a goalkeeper, if that's what I'd asked for, I got it. Simple catch.
Hearing from Claire on social media, they're saying no urgency from this Fulham side today.
No, there isn't. There hasn't been. Like you say, it's you have 3 touches, I'll have 3 touches. It's a bit like that, and you're never gonna. They've not stopped Southampton from playing their football.
Well, if this was the League Cup, we'd be going straight to penalties in a couple of minutes. If this was the old FA Cup, we'd be going for a trip to St Mary's.
Yeah, and they'd have deserved it as well.
I was going to say, they'd say thank you very much, we'll have you back at home.
Because they've played well, Southampton. They've looked a really accomplished side, well coached, well balanced. The only thing lacking is the finish. Because if they'd finished those chances, I think this game would have been even harder now than it has been for Fulham, because they'd have been 2 down at least.
More singing from the Southampton fans. 2 minutes left of the 90, plus a bit more time on top of that for the changes that have been made. I suppose that injury to the Southampton goalkeeper, although he wasn't down for that long in the end.
No, he wasn't down for that long, but they'll still add 30 seconds on for that, and also for the substitutions and what have you, so there'll be 1 or 2.
These players, you think, will want to get this done sooner rather than later.
You don't want extra time, I'll tell you that much.
So
Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe is the player who's coming off, and Josh King is coming on.
I like Smith Rowe. He's run about and worked hard, but the game has passed him by. He hasn't, he has the ability to win games by himself. There's absolutely no disputing that,
but he can go missing.
That's the problem you have, is the game passing by, and how many times you name check him, you forget he's there. Whereas Iwobi, straight from the start, has been involved the whole way through, and that's the difference.
Josh King scored his first senior goal at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Sorry, a back heel against Wickham in the League Cup. It was against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, by the way. But for some reason it was ruled out.
The disallowed one. Yeah, that was a nonsense.
Yes.
That was a nonsense.
Here we go, and it's forward. Chance for Southampton. Oh, is that a penalty?
Yeah, it's a penalty.
It was Finn Azaz who was fouled by Joachim Andersen. And 30 seconds before we hit the 90, the Championship side have a chance to take the lead here at Craven Cottage. Joachim Andersen in conversation with the referee. VAR would have looked at this as well, but from the naked eye, it looked immediately as if it was a penalty.
No capacity. We're only looking to see if Azaz is offside. Azaz, it's a definite penalty for me. He does get caught. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. There's no dispute that. He can't complain, Joachim Andersen.
It's in the arms of Ross Stewart. We're into 6 minutes of added on time, and we're going to head into stoppage time with the balls in the hands of Ross Stewart.
Well, Marco Silva's looking to make changes now. It could be too late now.
This to give Championship Southampton the lead in this FA Cup tie at Craven Cottage. Ross Stewart with his hands on his hips. The ball placed down 12 yards from the Fulham goal. The Fulham fans behind the goal trying to put off the number 11 who scores! Southampton take the lead from the penalty spot as we head into stoppage time. The Premier League team behind at home. It's Fulham 0, Southampton 1. Are the Saints heading to the quarter-finals?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there was only one team that was going to score that looked like scoring, really. Have missed the best chances in the game, so you cannot begrudge them this. You really can't. You have to say they've deserved it. Fulham haven't been at the races as to what we know Fulham can do. Southampton have played really well, like I said, well balanced, well coached. They've had threats. I thought they should have scored twice in the first half, maybe one more in this half, to be honest.
It's Fulham, a good penalty, isn't it?
Great penalty. Yeah. Fulham, for me, just have not... They've coughed and spluttered during the game, if that makes sense. They've not really... Like I said, when you make that many changes, you get a team that's slightly out of sync and not all aligned in terms of, you know, being of one mind. And that's what you've got today. They've not been at it. They've really not played well. And I've got to say, the biggest worry for me has been when they've lost the ball. How quick or how slow they've been to react defensively.
They've made another change, by the way. Raul Jimenez is on, and Harrison Reed is the player who's made way. And this is a collector's item because Rodrigo Muniz and Raul Jimenez are both on the pitch.
Yeah, that doesn't normally happen. But that's desperation, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going to have to just, you know, and it looks like. Yeah, it looks like is that Cuenca was up front at one stage. He's going back now. Yeah. He doesn't know where he's supposed to be now.
Well, at this stage, they need to score.
Yeah.
I have to remind you that Fulham were behind against Middlesbrough. They were behind against Stoke, but not this late in those FA Cup ties.
Yeah, he's going to get booked. Azaz will get booked.
Yeah, he gets a yellow card because he fancied scoring a goal, didn't he?
Yeah, it's silly one that. Doesn't need to do it.
And the flag was already raised. But Fulham, with Marco Silva so desperate to see this team get to Wembley at least, get to a semi-final in this competition. Quarter-finalists in 2 of the last 3 seasons, beaten by Crystal Palace last season, losing to Manchester United 3 seasons ago. But time is running out here as they put a cross right across the goal mouth, and that was Josh King with a brilliant ball in.
And they're screaming at Edozie, the Southampton players, because he's just given the ball away on the halfway line instead of putting it down the line for Ross Stewart. But yeah, it's a great cross, but there just is no one on the end. I don't know if he's looked up, because I think he's beat the play and there's no one at the back post, and no Fulham players really busting a gut to get in there either. And you have to say the Fulham players have fatigued a little bit as well. They've faded a little bit physically, which for me was always going to happen when you don't play the minutes. You know, these are things I spoke about before the game that are no surprise.
And this is going to mean at the moment that Fulham have failed to score in back-to-back home games. And let me remind you, the only other team that's denied them a goal is Arsenal, apart from West Ham in midweek and now Southampton in this FA Cup tie.
But the truth is they've not been good enough today. They've not been anywhere near what you know they can achieve, they can produce.
Edozie now forward for Southampton. The team ahead have got the ball where they want it, looking for Azaz, smothered by Lecomte. 1 minute and 30 seconds left to play here at Craven Cottage. And if Fulham get a goal, it's only to take this game into extra time. They have not got time for a winner,
No,
surely,
no.
but maybe they've got time to take it into extra time. Laid off by Raul Jimenez, comes back. And then Southampton sit back as they launch it back into the Fulham half. They're now defending this late lead that they have taken here at Craven Cottage. Forward again, headed away again, as far as Alex Iwobi. He's clipped, and I think he's won a free kick
He's won
here.
a free kick. The ball was there to be won, I've got to say.
Well, it's a yellow card for Matsuki, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The ball's there to be won. Iwobi's not the type to go down, though, so he's definitely been caught. Maybe the follow-through. But have Fulham got what it takes to score from something like this? I'm not so sure.
No, it's too far out anyway,
well,
isn't it?
Today, on the evidence of today's performance so far, you'd have to say no.
But this is it. We've got 20 seconds left of this match. Fulham are going out of the FA Cup. Southampton are going through to the quarter-finals as things stand. Ryan Sessegnon, it's not a direct free kick, spins off the head of Nunes, comes back to Iwobi, might drop, and it's cleared again. Southampton fans are cheering. They must think that that's it.
It's a foul.
A little push on King.
Doesn't have to do it.
By Bree. Another free kick for Fulham, but time is running out. Seconds left to play here at Craven Cottage. Marco Silva's side are going out of the FA Cup. Joachim Andersen saying that someone elbowed him in the jaw, I think. No,
I've got no clue.
I'm trying to read what he's saying.
Maybe he's saying to the ref, have a watch. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's the captain, by the way, now, after Harrison Reed went off. Here it's with Ryan Sessegnon. Sessegnon with a free kick, collected by the Southampton goalkeeper, and they think, the travelling fans, that that's it. And it probably is. It probably is. We've played more than the 6 minutes shown by the fourth official. Southampton have it at the right end of the pitch as far as they're concerned. Cuenca plays it out of play. Still we play on. We've now played 7 minutes when 6 were shown by the fourth official. Fulham are going out of the FA Cup here at Craven Cottage at the moment. Surely they don't have time, especially where the ball is at the moment,
no.
to get an equaliser here. It would take something extraordinary. The ball is with Chukwueze. It's Muniz and Raul Jimenez trying to get there. 3 players have spun down on halfway.
Easy booking.
I'm not sure. Chukwueze saying, are you showing me the yellow card?
Chukwueze.
Yeah.
I think it's a Southampton, but I could not tell a thing
No.
there. The ref should just let it carry on, because there's players rolling all over the place. You never know who's injured, really. There's too much rolling about and diving about. But he's given it to Southampton, so they'll take an age, they'll put it in the corner.
This is it.
And that'll be that.
We played 8 minutes when we were shown 6 by the fourth official.
That'll be that.
So, look, the goalkeeper's going to take his time.
Yep.
He's going to move it back about 15 more yards than it was.
Smash it in the corner, and that'll be that.
Yeah. Championship Southampton are about to knock Premier League Fulham out of the FA Cup, and as it's cleared into the Riverside stand, the away fans can start to celebrate. It was decided with a penalty in stoppage time at the end of the 90. Joachim Andersen committing the foul, and the substitute Ross Stewart with a brilliant penalty that could not be saved by Lecomte. And for another season, the FA Cup dream ends for Fulham. They have been beaten here by Southampton by 1-0.